Right, quick explanation up front for how this thing is going to work. This Save the Sugar Daddy with Deeping Rangers is going to be split between here on YouTube and over on Twitch. So people who follow the Twitch and subscribe to the YouTube channel can watch all of the save. They won't miss out on any of it. If you just want to watch the YouTube stuff, it's just going to work like a normal YouTube save. We'll do a normal YouTube episode, 6 or 8 games will pass in game, and then you'll come back for another normal YouTube episode. The stuff on Twitch is going to be those bits in between. We did our first Twitch stream last night at 9 PM on twitch.tv/Lollujo FM. This then picks us up after having done that pre-season on Twitch. We're now going to have our first game of the season here on YouTube, and then tonight at 9 PM we continue the story back over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lollujo FM. So make sure you head over there tonight to see what happens next after the end of this episode. Did I explain that right? Hello and welcome to part 2 of The Sugar Daddy. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our first game of the League One season at home against Sheffield United. But before that, we need to go through and have a look at all our summer transfers here at Deeping Rangers. If you don't know who Deeping Rangers are and you don't know how they've ended up in League One, there's a whole playlist that will be linked to up in one of those corners that you can check out to see where we got this far, and make sure you check out the Twitch streams to fill in the rest of the gaps as well. But long story short, we're in League One. It's the year 2025, and we were given what was the transfer budget? £11 million to spend this summer, because we had a big pile of cash. £11 million to spend, a massive wage budget. And for once, and this might be the first time in the history of Kev on YouTube, we're here on the first game of the season. I think I'm done with my transfer business, and I've still got £4.5 million left. So like a third of the transfer budget is still left, and we've still got nearly a quarter of the wage budget still available. Yes, we've spent like £8 million in League One, so that's what it takes for me to be able to work within a budget. But for the first time ever, Kev's working within a budget. It's utterly remarkable. And this is what we've been doing transfer business-wise. So if we have a look on here, probably the big headline is that a player who's left the club rather than anyone who's come in. Nathaniel Chalobah. Anyone who's been following this save over the course of the last couple of months as we've been doing the experiment side of it. Chalobah arrived at Deeping Rangers for £2.7 million when we were down in the Southern League First Division. And he's been on £80,000 a week all through this run from the Southern League all the way up to League One. He has been absolutely bleeding the club dry. So he's been allowed to leave on a free transfer. Huddersfield in the Championship were interested in him. But here we are, like 6 weeks after he left the club. Still nobody has signed him. He doesn't want to come back to us because Deeping Rangers aren't in his career plan. I have a feeling he'll retire by Christmas, because his expectations for wages will be absolutely sky high, and there's just going to be no one who's going to pay him the £80,000 a week that he's been earning for most of his career. Him more than anybody, his entire career has been ruined by signing for Deeping Rangers, because he ends up quite good in Football Manager normally. In my non-league to legend save, he was a top international player. He's been part of my coaching staff at a number of different clubs. He's a really good player. Really good coach, but in this version of the game, he's just a money grabber who it just didn't work out for. But we have signed a big pile of players, so let's have a look at the players that we've signed. Player number 1, Matt Deakin. Originally not his real name, but we signed him during the Twitch stream last night, and the hero that is Matt Deakin, who was in the chat as we signed him, made an awesome donation, and we decided to name the player after him. It was a group decision in the Twitch chat. Matt Deakin is a midfielder or striker. He's got 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's 20 years old. He came in for £375,000 from Liverpool, and is a pretty useful looking midfielder for a 20-year-old. And that kind of sets the tone for what we've looked to do with these transfers. Deeping for a long time have survived on cast-offs and free transfers and older players. None of that nonsense anymore. We're going full on Kev style, young and hungry. It's the Peterborough United way in real life, and it's the way I like to do things in Football Manager as well. So we're trying to find good young players that we won't ruin the way the club's previously ruined Chalobah. So Deacon comes in. We've also signed Jordi Schreers. Geordie Schreers. We're going to need some help learning to pronounce this one. He's a 21-year-old Belgian who's played at under 20 level. He's a striker with 3-star current ability and 4.5-star potential ability. He has incredible acceleration for a League One player, and he comes in from, he's been at Everton, but has been on loan at Mechelen for the last couple of years, 3 years, scoring at roughly a goal every other game in the Belgian Pro League. So hopefully he's going to be able to score some goals for us. We're giving him the number 9 shirt. No pressure, young man, but we expect some goals from you. Mark Hill comes in at left back. He's 24 years old, capped at under 20 level as well. 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. We've struggled a little bit to find a decent fullback on either side, really, but he's played 2 full seasons at this level for Rotherham. Doesn't look like he's let anybody down. He's not going to be a long-term solution with just that 3-star potential ability, but he'll do for now. And yeah, it's the best we could find, really. Arta Canedo is a young striker, 18-year-old Portuguese under-19 international who we've signed from Tottenham on a loan for the season. We could have bought him. We were given the option to buy him for like £3.5 million, but trying to be financially sensible, we can't be spending £3.5 million on 18-year-old unproven strikers while we're still in League One. If he has a good season for us and we end up having to pay £5 million for him next year, that's fine. But Tottenham have only just signed him themselves for £25,000 for us to then go and give them £3.5 million when he's not played a game since signing for that tiny fee would just be painful. So he's here on loan with a view to a permanent move if it goes well. James Scally is another left back. We didn't really have one. We still don't have one who's any good. He's probably the better of the two between him and Hill. He's a current Scottish international, still only 25. He's topped out at his 3-star current and potential ability, but he had been playing for Rangers for a little while, struggling to get into the first team at Rangers, ended up going to Queen of the South on a free, where he's had a decent season. I mean, 6 goals, 6 assists, a 7.3 average, all from left back. Bodes well for the way I like to have an attacking fullback. So if he can replicate the Queen of the South form for us, he might end up being better than that 3-star current ability suggests. Evan Osborne-Stone, this is another lad signed on the same basis as the guy from Tottenham, and I'm kind of glad we didn't spend the money on him, because this is one where the scouts maybe have got it a little bit wrong. We scouted him as 5-star potential. He's come in with only 4-star, and one of them is blacked out. So it could be that he's just a 3-star potential player. He's had a season on loan at Bolton in this league last year, where, I mean, results-wise, 8 goals, 12 assists. That looks pretty cool. I don't understand why he's only got a 6.81 average. It must mean he's just incredibly inconsistent, because that's a really good goal and assist return from midfield. He's involved in a goal every other game, but still can't get close to averaging a 7, so that suggests in the other games he's a bit rubbish. We'll see how he goes as the season progresses, and if we feel the need to throw some money at him, that's exactly what we'll do. Hugo Logan might be a familiar name to anybody who watched the Non-League to Legends save this year, particularly the bit where we were at Hamilton. He was a little bit of a silly indulgence. There's been a couple of them. This is definitely one of them. He's not really good enough to play for us. 2.5-star current ability. He's 26 now. He's not going to be our first choice attacking midfielder. He'll get some games. We know that he's good, but he has spent the last however many years playing for Wimbledon in League 2, where he's been a solid League 2 player, but not the kind of player we expect to lead us to a League 1 title this year and then play in the Championship next year. He'll be a one-season wonder, if that. Sergio Gonzalez has been our biggest extravagance. He's a central midfield player, and hold the phone, Kev has signed a ball-winning midfield player right off the bat. We're not going to wait 5 years and sign a ball-winning midfielder like I normally do. We have one straight away. I'll probably end up playing him at left-back or something, just to make sure that we don't have a properly balanced midfield, because that would never do. But he's got 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. We've overpaid for him a little bit. We paid 2 million. He's now valued at 1.3 million. But I think for the potential and the fact that he was the only defensive midfield player that we could find when we were looking for our scout reports and having a bit of a shop around, it made it worth paying a little bit over the odds for him, just to have some defensive oomph in midfield, because I think we might need it at times. Wayne Blackmore is a 22-year-old striker, comes in from Middlesbrough. I think we signed him from. Middlesbrough bought him off MK Dons. years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. He's only ever played one game for Middlesbrough, had time out on loan at this level and above. The 1 year he spent in League One was 3 years ago for Posh, 19 goals that year. That kind of return is fine by me. And his other 3 seasons of regular football have all been in the Championship, where he struggled a little bit for goals, but I would suggest he's not... Okay, he has been starting a lot of those games, presumably in midfield, because you can't start 34 games for Bolton in the Championship up front and only score 3 goals and still start that many games. Louis Coyle breaks the prototype for what we were looking for as a player a little bit, because we, again, really struggling with fullbacks. Couldn't find a right back who met the young and hungry and any good criteria, so we've had to buy a 29-year-old. He's only got 2.5-star current ability. He's a 1-year stopgap, comes in from Hull, been playing in the Championship all his career, so that shows the kind of level we're pitching our signings at, because we're thinking, a player who's played nearly 200 games in the Championship. 1 year stopgap for this League One team. Yeah, we only plan to have this 1 year in League One, and then we're looking for a Championship promotion push straight away as well to restart the Deepen Rangers momentum we've had over recent years. Then we have my other indulgence, which is Leo da Silva Lopez. He's a current Posh player in real life. I've paid too much for him. He's probably not good enough. He can play anywhere around the midfield, but he's only got 2.5-star potential. He's a little bit older than what we would have liked normally as well. He's had a long career, played a lot of games for Posh in League 1 and League 2. When they got relegated to League 2, he's moved on to MK Dons in League 1. And this is clearly his level. He's a solid, if unspectacular, performer at this level. We'll give him some games here and there and see if he's any good. But £650,000 for a player we're not really going to play. Certainly he's never going to be a regular starter. That was a bit silly when I realised I had lots of money left. And talking of silly, because I had money left, I just started spraying money around on gambles at this point. So Ricardo Salvador could turn out to be signing in the summer. He's a Portuguese under-20 international, 21 years old, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. We bought him for £1.5 million. He's already valued at £5 million. He comes in from Braga, has been on loan in the Championship for Colchester for the last 3 seasons and doing okay. I expect goals out of this guy, and the fact that he's come straight in on a £5 million valuation is awesome. Fernando Mendes, similar sort of thing. We're just kind of spraying money around on players that we think might be good enough for next season, even not necessarily even this one. So Fernando Mendes is a centre-back, 23 years old, Bissau Ghanaian. Is that how you say that? His value is also shot up, 4.5 million. He's only got 3-star current ability and is pretty much maxed out in his potential, but has been playing at a good level in Portugal and Turkey throughout his career, so I think he'll probably be able to manage League One and beyond. And then lastly, Fabian Muller is another attacking midfield player, a current Austrian international, or he's only played 1 game for Austria, but he is only 22 and made 40 appearances for their under-21s. 2.5-star current ability with 3.5-star potential. He's been in and around English football for a long time. Was with Fulham when he appeared into existence in the 2018-19 season. Never got the break with Fulham, but moved on to Newcastle for decent money, who've been loaning him out to League One and then Championship clubs. Over 100 games at this level or better. Again, fairly unspectacular, but he hasn't played in our system yet. Aside from that, there's a few players who we've mentioned throughout the experiment section of this save who've left. Luke Lee is probably the most significant one who's moved on. He's been at Deeping a long time. None of the rest of them are names that really spring out to me. But, and I want to emphasise this again, we still have money left and wage budget left. Kev has not ruined this football club yet. So going into our first game of the season against Sheffield United, I know I've done 4-3-1-2. We experimented on the stream, and I continued to experiment with it after the stream last night with the different tactics. We've tried a 4-2-3-1. We've tried a diamond. None of it's working. This will be the first game we've played the 4-3-1-2. I haven't tried it with them yet, but we're heavy favourites for this first game of the season. We spent a lot of money. I don't want to get sacked. So we'll play this game as a 4-3-1-2. We haven't signed any wide players at all over the summer, but we do still have like 3 weeks of transfer window left. That will be on tonight's Twitch stream if you're watching this the day it comes out. If not, available on Twitch replay. So if we decide as a collective hive mind that we do want to play something with wingers, we've got money there to buy some wingers. But we've met most of this team. Ben Vickers is a keeper who was already at the club when we arrived. 3-star, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, current Welsh international. He was signed from Liverpool a year ago, so he starts in goal. Then we've got new signings, Scally and Coyle at fullback, alongside Arne Vasberg, who's on loan from Arsenal, I think, who was with Deeping Rangers for the second half of last season. It looks like he's always going to be far too good for us, head and shoulders above the rest of our defenders. He'll start whenever he's fit, and he partners another guy who was already at the club when we arrived, Danny Culver, who definitely going to be watching his back. He's come through our youth team, which we have a good youth setup here, and the fact that we've had a player come through and play nearly 150 games for us is awesome. But obviously we've got the new guy, what's his name, Mendes. As soon as he's match fit, I've kind of got that spot earmarked for him, so Calver's going to have to play well. Midfield, we've got Matt Deakin and Gonzalez, 2 players we've just brought in, plus Ross Turns, who was head and shoulders above everyone else as the best player at the club when I arrived. He's kind of dropped back into the pack as we've improved the standard of the squad overall, although still considered the best central midfield player, still considered a good championship player. He had a great season last year, one of the few shining lights in a really shoddy season. And hopefully he'll continue in that form this year. And then the front 3 is all new players: Hugo Logan, Schroyers and Canedo. Now we need to go and beat Sheffield United. Oh, I'm skillfully editing out all these coughs and sneezes that I'm having. Blaming hay fever for this. But obviously, because of Kev's seamless editing skills, you wouldn't even know about it if I didn't feel the need to talk about it. Let's give them some squad numbers and see how we get on. It isn't the exact 4-3-1-2 that we've been using in Non-League to Legend and the Expedition of Gold. Don't care about any of that. Mainly because we can't really do complete forwards at this level. Despite spending all the amount of money that we have, players at this level just can't do complete forward. Yes, he's working hard. Yes, all of this. Oh, this is a long tunnel interview. This is longer than the press conference was. Yes, we want to win the match. But yeah, rather than trying to force them into complete forward roles that they're not really cut out for at this level, we're going to be doing... Why is that all the way over there? Move that back. We're going to be doing a deep line forward and an advanced forward to begin with. We might tweak that as we go, but for now it seemed to be the ones that suited these players the best. And I am going to try and be a little bit more flexible with the tactics on this save and adjust them according to suiting the players, and it seemed to suit these two. Although neither of them really wanted to be traditional attacking roles, despite the fact that they're millions of pounds worth of striker that we've just brought in. They don't seem to really fit any kind of system. We've just won a free kick over on the left-hand side there, though. Scally drawing the foul out of the Sheffield United defender. Logan crosses in and Matt Deakin's there, and it's a save from the Sheffield United keeper. Some good early pressure from us. We've had a lot of the possession early on. Created 2 chances so far. Hopefully there'll be a few more of them start to appear as the game goes on. It is our first time playing this system. We know it's a system that can create a lot of chances, and we know we've almost certainly got the best squad at this level. And Geordie Schreers has just put us 1-0 up with what looked like a bit of a screamer. Let's have a look at it in 3D and see just how good a goal this was for a lad on his debut. There you go, that's our first proper look at Lollujo Park, which is the massive stadium that we had built way back when old Kev took over as chairman a long time ago. Is that a scoreboard with nothing on it back there? Some kind of big screen? I imagine if I went upstairs in my house now, I'd be able to see where Lollujo Park would be in this existence. Oh, first half from Lollujo Park. I've never played in a made-up ground before, apart from the ones that the game makes up for me. Our keeper's picked up a bit of a knock. That's one area we've not even tried to strengthen over the summer, because in addition to Vickers, we've got another goalkeeper as well, whose name escapes me, who also looks quite good, but we don't really have much depth beyond that. So if that's a proper injury to Vickers, we might have to go and spend some money on a third choice goalkeeper, probably a youngster. We'll have a look in our own under-18s and under-23s first to see if we've got a youngster of our own. Bettinelli, he's the other guy we've got here. And Bettinelli, I think I had him in my Everton team in the beta. Maybe? Does that sound right? People who were around then? An attendance of 16,000 for this first game of the season is mad. I think attendance is one of the things I didn't tweak when I was setting up this database way back at the start of the experimentation stage. We gave them the big ground, but I'm sure we didn't boost the attendances. So that's interesting to see how that's grown organically as they've marched up through the leagues and is now dwarfing Peterborough United, who are just down the road, which is a bit of a surprise. Right, let's bring on Salvador, who, again, doesn't really want to be any... They all just want to be false nines or trequartistas. I can't play with a false nine and a trequartista in League One. That's just madness. Right, Logan's going to come off, and we'll take off one luxury and bring on the other luxury, and we'll stick Da Silva Lopez in behind the front two, which is a position I'd quite like to see him play in real life. He plays a little bit deeper in real life, but I'd quite like to see him pushed a little bit further forward because he is a talented lad. We've just gone 2-0 up. It's Schreyers again. Schreyers. Please let me know in the comments how I should be pronouncing his name, because I'm on the verge of renaming him. 2 rival burger vans next to each other, look, in the car park. That's surprising that there's 2 of them rivaling each other right next to each other, but also surprising that they're seemingly facing the wrong way and both facing towards that wall that was in the corner. I think we need to expand on this ground a little bit and fill in those corners so we don't have to look at the burger vans week in, week out. Matt Deacon's coming off now, and we're going to bring on Wayne Blackmore, who's signed as a striker, but why not get him into the team in midfield somewhere, drop turns, but actually Da Silva Lopez. I was saying I don't want to see Da Silva Lopez playing as deep as he does in real life. That's exactly where I'm going to put him now and stick Blackmore in behind those front 2, unless Salvador's better there. No, Blackmore's a better striker. I'd rather have someone as a better striker, so Blackmore's going to get his chance for 10 minutes playing as the advanced forward alongside Schreyers, who already has his 2 goals and is probably looking for a hat-trick now. Coyle can't get anything close to a shot away, and it's a corner which Turns is going to take. Let's have our 3rd goal here just to settle any opening day of the season nerves down. Turns with a chance to cross again. Salvador heads well over, but I think we have picked up another corner, so it's Turns with the cross for a 3rd time, and it's cleared again. I mean, he's good, but he's not much of a corner deliverer, is he? That's something we might need to work on. Turns with another corner, and that one's much better, and we do pick up our 3rd goal. A little bit of head tennis between our 2 centre-backs, but Ricardo Salvador now gets his debut goal as well. Oh, an aerial view. I might just leave these odd highlights on this save. We're still doing the behind-the-goal thing on the main save, but this is quite cool. I quite like this little aerial view. It throws in randomly sometimes, leaving it on director view. So we might just do that. Why not? And there we go. We've picked up a 3-0 win on our first game of the season. Did I just forget to do it? Am I supposed to be doing my own team talks? I don't like the sound of that. That's something that needs correcting. I think we've just gone through that whole game not doing team talks and still won 3-0. That's interesting if that's what's really happened. Ben Vickers has a strained wrist, which is a bit of an issue for a goalkeeper, but it's an issue we can worry about on Twitch tonight. So if you're watching this video the day it comes out, or even at a later date, you can head over to Twitch for the Twitch replay. We're going to play the next, I don't know, probably 4, 5, 6 games will all be on Twitch. And our next YouTube episode, I mean, Northampton and Cambridge are Posh's 2 local rivals. I don't know if they're considered to be rivals of Deeping. Do Deeping have Oh, bless us, we don't have any rivals. We'll see how far we go tonight on Twitch, and then we'll come back with 2 episodes back on YouTube in a couple of days' time, because tomorrow will be the final part of the England stage of the Expedition of Gold, before we then do this again in 2 days' time, and then finally reveal the new club for the next stage of the Expedition of Gold, because obviously you don't know yet, because I've kept it so well hidden. Yeah, twitch.tv/Lollujo FM, 9 o'clock tonight. It'll be lots of fun. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.